Hello, everybody, and welcome to Graded Point Live. Wow, Piper, I gave you as much dead air, and you gave me nothing.
You didn't
Absolutely
ask.
nothing.
You didn't ask me if I was ready yet.
Never asked before, and you always have something. I have never asked before. That is not an excuse.
Fuck up, fat man.
Okay, thank you.
Because you always chew me out when I open with a random sound, so it's like this time.
And you know I don't mean it. Why did you choose now not to do it? Welcome back to the stream, by the way. I know you were.
Thank you.
You were off yesterday after a lot of werewolf something over the weekend. I don't know what was going on, but
yeah. Let's do some werewolf shit.
Friday the 13th and a full moon. That was
I mean, I kind of obligated.
Yeah.
Before the stream banter ceases, I gotta warn everybody. I'm the call center for my family right now. I have to forward shit, and if there's something fucking call, I will mute myself. But
so if we suddenly hear your phone ringing, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's
And I'm kind of a little stressed out because it's due to a funeral.
Oh.
Yeah, he had a family issue today. His
It's been a couple of weeks, man.
It's been a rough couple of weeks, unfortunately. But we got Scott McCullough here tonight, who's going to raise us all up and make us all feel good about ourselves. See, now that was inappropriate. That was inappropriate.
What?
But
what?
No, I said with Piper and that was well timed.
Yeah, that was extremely appropriate.
I was trying to let the man talk, and you just blew horns over his face. I don't.
Oh, I heard it and I waited, man.
No, we were celebrating that we have him first.
Yeah,
Jeez.
okay.
Somebody appreciates me around here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, since the last time you were on, you have funded. Because you were I believe you were like a couple thousand short last time you were here, and now you're.
No, it's been a great steady climb. We hit the 5K mark right before we hit the midpoint, and we just been steadily going on. I've been on EBS's channel twice, and a couple other good channels. Was supposed to come on Malin's literally the other day, and then EBS got him knocked off the side of the world.
I was watching that stream when that happened. That was so unfortunate.
Yeah, I was watching it too. It was
for those that don't know, I don't think anybody else. What happened was John Malin was doing a stream, and EVS was on there, and he started showing clips from a some pop music person that EVS is infatuated with, and unfortunately, that got copyrighted and kicked the stream off, and so Malin took that part of the stream out and then started another stream, and then that stream went off the air, and now he can't stream.
What the hell? He took that off, and they still didn't want him to stream.
And apparently he can't.
He got the 90-day ban.
Yeah, he got the 90-day ban, and he can't appeal it because he deleted the part of the stream that had the thing on
it. The same thing happened in Narwhal.
Yep, sure did. I remember him talking about that. He was showing something on there on his stream, and then it just kicked him off, and then he couldn't stream for 90 days. Something similar happened to Tug. He got kicked, and it went beyond 90 days, though.
But, Tug ended up making that alt.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he made another channel that, just got about as many subs as his main channel at the time.
That's exactly right.
I like the way he did that too. He said this other guy. He said this. I'm over here. My channel, That Umbrella Guy, has been suspended, but the Umbrella Guy, I don't know who he is, but he runs a good channel. Well, that's the whole joke. What was that song he had where it says he streams even though he can't stream or something like that?
I think he streamed more after that.
Yeah,
and that was when everybody who came to his in his chat could get a wrench, so he had all the
I was one of those. I had a wrench on that channel, and then somebody had to go and abuse their wrench. Tisk tisk. That seemed to be going around lately too. Have you noticed that? Like a lot of people get wrenches.
There's a lot of that going on.
They want to.
Yeah.
They want to go enforce their own rules instead of the rules of the. Exactly.
Yeah.
They want to enforce their own rules instead of the rules of the owner of the channel.
Yeah, which does not make any sense.
Who got suspended? John Malin got copyright claimed on his channel, and he can't stream for 90 days. And that was the reason why EVS did a marathon stream for his closing of Graveyard Shift Volume 2 the other night. Which I'm sure John's not complaining. He made almost $30,000 that night. So.
Yeah.
Can I just give 2 quotes?
Yeah.
The first quote is, quote, "I am not Comicsgate," quote, unquote.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second quote, it came just... and it says, "Comicsgate is the fans," unquote. Same person.
Huh. Sounds like some of that crazy stuff Piper would say.
Piper.
You deny.
Do we have to bring up the chart again?
The chart has nothing to do with...
Oh, no.
We're not going to bring the chart up with guests anymore.
Yeah, that chart derails like entire stream.
Yeah. We go from like trying to push campaigns to talking about, Piper's fixation with werewolves. It's gets a little crazy.
No, I don't. If we're gonna talk about that, I have no idea what Comicsgate is anymore. Because I had my interpretation, and now everybody's fighting, and it makes me sad.
Well,
That's because you got fucking Comicsgate Revolt trying to be a thing.
that's a good name for it, in all honesty.
Yeah, might as well be. God damn it! I thought it really was that. I just thought it was a big push to, we can spend our money elsewhere. Well, why don't we?
That's it. That's all it's ever been.
Yeah.
But, you've got the motherfuckers that are trying to also fix Marvel and DC. As like, you don't fix that. You burn it down, you clean it up, and then you just start fresh.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see that. My stance is outside of indie comics, the big publishers and stuff like that. Like big comics is just gonna have to die. There's gonna have to be a comics crash.
The termite damage is so severe that even after you fumigate the fuck out of it, there's no fixing it. Sooner or later, it's just going to come down by itself.
The building inspector is recommending demolition. Is the best way to put that.
But in the meantime, the bonus is like to me, Comicsgate was helping point out that hey, those aren't your only choices in comics. You can help make sure there's comics you are interested in,
like Doorkickers.
Exactly, like Doorkickers and stuff. Go directly to the creators, and none of this middleman and all this other bullshit.
Also, the most important thing here that I take from this is the looks on the faces of those quote-unquote pros who get ass mad when they see that they're making fucking peanuts working at the big 2 while you got independent guys that are making a killing, doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's that's what we want Scott to be one day. We want him to make his killing.
Yep.
I'm happy with modest gains, and I'm happy with incremental improvement. So if this one isn't like a blockbuster, then the next one will be better, and it'll just keep.
Well, I think we have discussed this before. Offline. And if you let's say you're I'm gonna put a day. Let's say your campaign will end. I'll just say 15,000. Right, we're just going to put that as your.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice, right? But and then the next, if your next campaign makes 20,000, well, hey, I just increased what I did over the last campaign.
That's called growth.
Yeah, so you're steadily making an increase, right?
You got to sell this book, and you may not make a lot of money on it, but you still got to sell it to sell the next book.
Mm-hmm.
No, the idea is that you're always building on your previous success. So, let's assume like this is campaign. The campaign ends Saturday, and it'll go in demand, but it won't be in demand forever. And then so I'll have whatever supporters I have at the end of the campaign, and then I've got my mailing list. I'll start a new campaign probably before one actually gets in people's hands. Probably around the same time we start fulfilling is when I would launch the actual campaign. But starting the campaign and actually launching the campaign are two different things. One happens way before the other.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of the information campaign, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then
You're sowing the seeds of your eventual actual campaign, as they say.
right. Well, and then on top of that, there may be a different campaign that I'm involved in as a key player that may go in the meantime. I may be like, say, a writer on it, but maybe I'm not the one who owns the campaign. So that's helping build. So that builds the steam, especially if it's involved with a successful YouTube channel that has the ability to regularly promote it. I think that would be cool. And then so that dumps into the new campaign. The original Doorkickers people, by the way, they start to get their books in February. They open the book and they're just like, man, this is everything he promised and more. I'm absolutely getting the next book. This looks fantastic.
Yeah.
The next book has a lot of front-loaded people, and by the time I turn around, instead of getting at 5,000 right before the end of the first 30 days. So, and then, by the way, the other book that I'm involved in just closed out its campaign at 25,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
There's just, it's kind of like, I'm already kind of looking at the after action report on my campaign, and I'm already thinking, I should have had a bigger presence. I should have done this. I should have done that. There are a lot of different ways I could have got the word out so that I'd have a larger built-in audience. So I've learned a lot of those lessons, and so the next time it goes, it'll be awesome.
Exactly. So speaking of your campaign, speaking of Doorkickers, the chat just asked Star Storyteller. I'm gonna get his name right, their name right. Says, okay, I've seen Doorkickers around. What is the elevator pitch?
So the elevator pitch on Doorkickers is that you've got a clandestine organization employs a team of high-speed, low-drag operators who fight against supernatural threats with magic items, technology, regular weapons, magic weapons, you name it. The threats tend to be kind of cosmic horror related, cultists and entities, all kinds of kind of permutations with this. But in the actual book that you would be backing, Panzer Demon, we find them dropped into a scenario where on page 2 they're kicking in the door. So it starts right in the beginning for the action, and then they get some intel, and then they have to trace that intel back, and ultimately that the chain. It's set in Ukraine, so it's got a kind of a grungy kind of post-industrial kind of feel to it. It's a lot of abandoned buildings and that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be a really cool ride, and I promise to give you everything that live up to all the expectations that you're seeing in the promo art and then all the other story promo.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with what I've seen of it so far. I mean, I already bought my copy.
Have you guys seen the new print?
No.
I think I was going through. Is this the one?
Go back up.
Yeah.
No, it's up at the top.
Yeah, I went to the top. Yeah, I saw it at the top, and I went through it slowly, but I believe I'm there now.
If we can talk about that. This thing just blows me away.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Yeah.
So you say high
I love
speed. Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Oh, well, you said they're a team of high speed, low drag operators. Like, what percentage drag representation is on the team?
The coefficient would be around of a 0.25, I would say.
Okay, so that
but,
is
some
very
of the bigger guys get up to 0.4. Yeah.
Okay.
It's nice that I actually knew what the hell you were talking about.
I thought when you said drag, he was talking about something else.
Yeah, are there any
That's just
females
a-
in male?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but that's a very jargony like army term. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
somebody's high speed, low drag. That means
Mhm.
they don't have time to slow down and chat.
No, it was intended as a double entendre.
I get it.
Well, and it's kind of it's kind of like when military people say we're going to do a Halo drop, and layman people think that we're talking about like ODSTs or something like that from.
Oh, so they're going to mail us some video games?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Sorry, that would be pretty cool.
So with this being set in Ukraine and they're fighting sort of supernatural beasts, are you taking inspiration from the folklore of that area, or is it just general cosmic horrors?
Not as much. I mean, if it is kind of generally cosmic horror, and I don't do a whole lot of stopping and smelling the roses as far as getting to know the bad guys. It's more about killing the bad guys. These guys aren't your cultist investigators as much as they are, SWAT
The investigation has been done. People are coming in, and they're trying to fix the fucking problem because holy shit, there's a goddamn Shoggoth with like 15 fucking tentacles trying to just eat the inside of this cathedral. We gotta fucking burn it out.
When the investigator finds a paranormal WMD, these are the guys they call in to fix
so
the
they're
problem.
full on like just a point and shoot. They are a weapon.
Well, they absolutely are. That being said, I don't know if you guys saw my post yesterday that featured all the different versions of Jigna, the female team character. She's a door kicker too, but she's also an intel specialist. So the idea is they're able to kind of, in that first scene, they go in, they kick in the door, they kill a bunch of bad guys, they grab and then they bring the scroll back to their local head, kind of safe house in order to kind of, what the fuck is this? What can we learn? They've got their reach back. So in the real world, your reach back, you're talking to them over satellite communications. These guys use a fucking crystal ball to talk to their reach back, So it's little things like that.
That's freaking cool.
Time, right?
Yeah.
I'm still getting over this print, man. Like this.
Yeah, the print looks sick.
Well, did you see the black and white version?
Yeah,
I was so
yeah.
blown away. I literally made the snap decision. I'm making a new cover. This is going to be the cover.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't backed the book yet, when you're checking out, you can add it as an add-on, a $20 add-on. It's the black and white print cover edition.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to do. I was like, you know what? If nobody buys this, I don't care. I'll have 100 of them, and I'll just sit there with them.
So now you've got 3 covers available essentially.
So there's a third cover available. That's right.
Yeah.
Just remember, for all your supernatural elimination needs, call the Doorkickers. Spooks spooked, goblins gobbled, UFOs KO'd, aliens alienated, vampires evaporated, and monsters remonstrated.
And in doubt, nuke it from orbit.
Somebody believes in the principality of Xeon.
Sieg, Xeon!
Oh, we got Mr. Simon Pothier in the chat, by the way.
Hey, Simon.
Hey, Simon.
He's a he's a Canadian, but we like him anyway.
So real deep, hard-hitting journalistic question. Okay.
All right.
Is there going to be trading?
Is there going to be what?
Trading cards.
We talked about
Trading
this
card.
before.
Not on this campaign.
Okay.
Well, I tell you what. I haven't filled in the $12,000 stretch goal.
Mm-hmm.
If you could get me to $12,000, I'll fill that in as trading cards.
There you go. This is Guys, this is
breaking news.
Yeah, this is the this is the Crystal McGee hoodie thing all over again. We must get to this goal. Okay. We absolutely must get to
seriously. I need all your guys' help, and I don't just mean you 5 that I'm sharing this awesome stream with, but everybody who listens to this today and tomorrow. Essentially, we've got between today and Saturday to get to 10,000, which is the stretch goal. Realistically, that's the stretch goal I'm most likely to get to, and that is a cool stretch goal because it's a 10-page story added into the book. With it's going to be remastered, so Eric Weathers is going to go through and re-letter it. The dialogue will change because originally it was kind of neutered a little bit for a PG kind of audience. So it's going to go back to where it was, soldiers talking like soldiers again. So cool additional, and it also kind of tells the story of how Bill joins the team. I think it's a good piece that will fit really well with the Panzer Demon story. It's the same as the free. It's essentially the same story, but just an upgraded version that people got if they signed up for the mailing list before the campaign.
Right. So you shared some art with me earlier, and I'm going to share that with the class now.
Oh my God!
I think we should show the black and white first. I would think, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
There's a story behind this art, right? I've been humping Alejandro Mirabel's leg for the last, 6 months, trying to get him to do anything with me. And so eventually he says, I was like, well, let me get you to do a creature design for me. I don't have the Panzer Demon done yet. And he said, yeah, we can do that. And so we negotiated a deal, and this is what he came up with.
That's some Geiger shit there.
Yay!
That's great.
I think it's better than that because it's not it's
not masturbatory.
Sorry, thank you.
Not phallic enough.
It needs dicks.
No phalluses in this thing.
Yeah, it needs more penis.
Amanda Lunacy.
Make a penis come out of this thing.
There you go. Amanda Lunacy in the chat made a good sales pitch for you, Scott. He said, buy Doorkickers or we will replace your car with Pipers.
Piper, what kind of car do you drive?
Drive.
The better question is what car do you own? Because driving is secondary to this.
I own.
That car's not for driving. That car's for looking at.
I'm up to 2 Volkswagen Beetles.
Are they old ones?
No.
I love those the most though. But they are 1999 and a 2000. The 2000 was supposed to be drivable because we drove it. Like we did an hour drive, and so I was like, sweet, I didn't screw up this time. Turns out that hour drive was a miracle.
I said it sounded like they did the whole sawdust in the thing. That was an old trick back in the day. It's like to make a car feel like it runs smooth for a while. They would throw sawdust in the. I forgot it was like the.
Now was that an actual thing? Or
that was an actual thing. I am not kidding you. My dad, is old enough. He remembers witnessing people do that. Like used car salesmen would stick sawdust. I think it was in the oil.
Sawdust in the gearbox.
Sawdust in the gearbox. Yeah. So it makes it feel smooth for a while. Long enough to get it bought, get it sold. That's and then once it's sold, they don't give a shit anymore, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah. Now you guys tell me what you think. I know you tell me the truth.
Yeah.
I never get led astray here.
Mm-hmm.
On Clint's channel last night.
Mm-hmm. But Sweetcast,
and I think it was Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it may have been Eric, or I can't remember if it was Eric or.
You were on with Eric and Mike Murphy, right?
I can't remember which one it was. I think it might have been Mike Murphy actually said this. He said that I shouldn't show it because it's a spoiler. I disagree.
I am of two minds.
I want to hear what you guys say.
I'm of two minds. Sometimes it's nice not to unveil your villain, or your villains, or however how many of these there will be. But when it looks this cool,
This will sell. Yeah, this will sell the book.
yeah, this will sell
Yeah.
books. Yeah, this sells books. You know what I mean?
I almost want to come out with a fourth cover and just put this thing on it.
I mean,
Right?
you could.
Yeah, you actually could. Yeah, let me show the later on.
Show the more finished version.
Yeah, with some color and
there's a
things like
difference
that.
between just showing the design and showing that motherfucker in action.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what
Yeah.
this thing does.
Yeah.
You don't exactly know like what we see what this thing is,
Yeah.
but we don't know like what it is, like
What's
what
it going to
truly it
do
is,
and
what it
yeah.
What it can do.
what is its
How
Yeah.
big it is.
what's its goal.
Mm-hmm.
If it
Yeah,
has
so
one.
in this way, showing it by itself helps build hype because it's
Yeah.
freaking cool.
It's kind of like
What I
okay.
think.
Well, I was gonna say it's kind of like how using a recent campaign for an example, with Graveyard Shift Volume 2, right? And how Malin said that the villain is Dracula, right? But it's not the Dracula we all have seen before. Right? This Dracula has like fucking Wolverine chops and wings, and he built like a brick shit house. I mean, it's like
It's definitely a different Dracula.
yeah. Oh yeah, Amanda
It's
Lunacy.
not your grandfather's Dracula.
No, yeah. Amanda Lunacy, I think, agrees with us. Anytime you got Alejandro Mirabal doing design work, you show that shit. Beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
exactly. I don't even have to know what it looks like. If I know he's doing the design work on something, I'd be like, all right, I think I'm in, but I want to see it.
Yeah. Because it does look, I mean, even you could tell where he's not finished yet, and it still looks gorgeous.
Well, did you guys see the three? Maybe I'll show you this too. I'm going to drop in the chat another picture. So these are the rejects.
Oh.
So I'm going to show you two rejects and the final one it's not the initial concept.
Oh.
Concept immediately here.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All
the first one is the initial concept rejects, and then we'll talk about the rejects, and I can explain why they weren't for me on this one and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay, so we got that one. All right, let me get this other one up.
That's the guy that we went with. I just love the organic flavor to it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In a completely alien way, right?
Yeah.
And just because it's a demon, so let me just in the world of Doorkickers, the agency they work for classify these types of beasts as Odins, and they are other dimensional entities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can be really nasty things like this, or it can be fairly mundane type things.
Yeah.
And so the idea is this is not only demonic because it exists in this other dimension, but it is also alien,
Right.
So that's really what I wanted to capture with it. One of the things that I gave him as a reference. I gave him a lot of kind of biological stuff as references, but I also gave him like Tyrannid stuff from Warhammer 40K.
You can't go wrong there.
And yeah, absolutely. So those things are purely biological, and they're alien, but they're not like demonic,
right.
in the world. But this thing is another place.
Yeah.
I think with all these designs, do you remember back in like the beginning of the Afghanistan war and Iraq, where there were those decks of playing cards with all of the major lieutenants, and what if you did like a custom for a backer reward, like a custom deck of just like, hey, here are all the like monster designs.
Would be seriously cool. That's a good idea. Especially and you wouldn't have to be just Alejandro doing them. It could be monster design from all over State.
Yeah,
and then you could have like the artist's name on it, and then like on the back, like exactly like what the monster is and what it's known for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that sounds like trading cards. I'm actually thinking of making a playing card deck.
I think it would be better. That would be better as a playing card deck because like the with the War on Terror, those playing cards were literally terrorists, like the actual 52 worst terrorists in the world. So.
Right.
And they had bounties on their heads too.
Yeah. So you have like the 50 or you probably would need 52.
Yeah,
but
I think this one would be like the Ace of Diamonds or something like that. He's a badass, but but he's not the worst thing ever.
I mean, you want your Ace of Spades to be the worst thing. Yeah. I mean, you want if you want that to be your dead man's hand. See what I did there?
and I think you could probably get a lot of people who, like, if you're like, hey, we're doing this as a back reward. If you want to submit your art, be credited, and well, you could probably get a lot of people who are willing to contribute to the campaign.
Yeah, you could get some. You could do a contest, and if you wanted like specific people's takes on certain monsters, you could ask them for it and stuff like that.
You could make some scammy art contest out of it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get literally nothing out of this.
With that one.
Yeah. You get literally nothing out of this contest except our, not even our appreciation. Fuck you, right? Like,
Your name goes in the credits.
We're gonna use all your art, but we'll at least say, "Hey, somebody won."
Yes.
Yay.
Hey, this guy won this contest. Now watch it.
Won.
This guy won our contest. Now watch us make thousands of dollars off of it. I've never seen an art contest close so fast.
if they had just let the guy have the rights to it.
Mm-hmm. Like this is like this is still your character and everything like that. But yeah.
But and so because of that, he gets a royalty from the sale of the book.
Yeah. So if you only make like $5 selling a book, that means he only gets like what 10 cents? I mean, whatever, right?
But you do something like an either an exclusive limited license, so like a 3-year license. You can't this is your character, you still own him, but we have an exclusive license for the next 3 years on him.
Yeah.
These royalties because of that, and X, Y, and Z, 1, 2, 3. But 5 years down the road, if you don't want to deal with us anymore, then you own your character, and we own the stories the character was in. It's just it's just a matter of getting the lawyers to write the language up.
Yeah, that was
honestly what I've seen most art contests do. That's even more scummy than the prizes is the fact that I've always found in the fine print. Your entries belong to them immediately. So even if you don't win, they can use your art. Yeah, they can have an entry. Your art. Your art officially belongs to them, even if you do not win. And that I have found in the fine print of pretty much every art contest. That's why I've never entered.
Yeah,
we should do a Comics Gate art contest.
Yeah,
now that would be cool.
And it should be done the right way.
Yeah.
With blackjack and hookers.
Exactly.
And maybe there are no cash prizes. Maybe it's you get one of our big wheels in Comicsgate to agree to feature your drawing or something like that, or your creature and or whatever it is in one of their books or.
Yeah, and then just credit the artist. That gives their name out there, so that's
immediately,
something.
I thought of like, the Comicsgate art contest goes. Oh, congratulations to our winner, Devin Van Scrimer.
You're
and his submission, Robot Toad.
So let's go back, right? We've talked about the whole playing card deck, and we talked about like what you open it up, you say create the Doorkickers next demon creature, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is, if you guys have seen Alejandro's designs. Can you do better? Come up with the next creature for the next, and will be featured as a bad guy or as a threat in the next Doorkickers book.
Yeah.
So you get your character gets featured in the book. You own the character. So if you want to do your own book with a freaking weird demon creature, you can. All the only thing that you sign away on when you enter the contest maybe is that we get the right to use your demon on a card design.
Yeah.
You get your art. Whoever wins gets featured in a CG book. So you see something like that.
Yeah.
Where in the end, you own everything. We just get the opportunity to use it, and then you get featured in a book, and your name gets splattered over it.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of thing is that makes it about the fans and less about
Well, it
Exactly.
also opens you up to new like artistic avenues where it's you may get so stuck on these like organic demons, but what if somebody has like this wildly different
Absolutely.
concept that like you or the artist wouldn't have thought of.
Right, exactly. You never know where cool's going to come from, right? And I think Alejandro's stuff is amazingly cool, but if somebody else comes down the pike with a different style and a different idea, it's like, holy shit, this globular thing is very cool, or this thing over here that's geometric, and very
unsettling to look at.
geometry.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could do with that.
Yeah. See, this is why Scott comes on this show, because he knows he's going to get good ideas.
Because as
You guys are
negative
an
as we
idea
are,
factory.
we are positive.
Yeah.
That's what I do like that about you guys. You guys are definitely an idea factory. You guys talk things through. It's not the normal thing.
Well, yeah, it's like, I mean, I'm taking nothing away from people who do live streams. I love Clint, even though he puts me to sleep. I tease him about that all the time. I was like, Clint, I love you, man, but every time I listen to your video, I'm gone.
He's got ASMR voice.
He's got a very soothing voice.
Speaking of putting you guys to sleep, I just tweeted out the. Let's see. Can I won't be able to post this in your chat, will I?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah, you can post whatever.
Let's see if I can do it.
Motherfucker.
I'll do this. I'll post it in the Discord.
Yeah.
This is the tweet about the unfinished. I'm not going to tweet out the painted version. That'll just be exclusive.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna try and trademark Robo Toad before he
Robo.
but it turns out
Already
DJ Dorok took it already for Robo Toad Warzone, which is an album that costs 99 cents, is only available on Amazon.
So what you need to do is you need to copyright Robot Toad and Iguanatron.
Yeah, no, I might steal those from you.
So I only showed him briefly the other concepts, but let's look at concept number 2, which is like a more of a.
Let me talk you through these guys.
Yeah.
One of the things that I chose the four-armed tentacle monster for was because it's upright.
Yeah.
It seems
imposing.
It's almost regal in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. This thing is much more kind of bent over, like a dog mixed with a really nasty salamander.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
there.
reminds me of like the Hellhound aesthetic.
Yeah, it's like a lesser demon.
And
yeah,
right. And so exactly. It says
It's not as threatening looking. It looks like something that would creep you out because
it looks like somebody
more than it's.
It looks like something number 1 would be ordering number 2, right? Like attack. Yeah. There'd be the
yeah, that's what I was saying. It seems like something that would be slightly less intelligent and probably but be strong in numbers, maybe, and that's what would make it scary.
Like
these mother.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh well, like I could see like, oh hey, we have to move through the subway, and flashlights on. There's like fucking 30 of these things sitting on the ceiling.
Yeah.
But
Like,
they don't
I
have
think it
eyes.
could still be used, but I think it would be a lesser demon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so let's look at number trace.
Number 3.
This one, so I'm not using this one in the current book, by the way, the second one.
Right.
Now, number 3, I think, will probably pop up in the story.
This really gives me the, like, and I hate to use the, in like Starship Troopers, like the heavy bugs, the ones who,
Yeah.
like the ones that really, like, fuck up shit,
Yeah.
This looks like that kind of, like, demon, like, you send these bad boys in, it's like, kind of like, was it, like in Halo, when they send in the, not the brutes, but the other ones.
Are you talking the big ape dudes?
No, not the ape dudes. Those are the brutes. I'm talking about the ones that only go in 2 at a time.
The hunters.
Hunters, yeah.
Yeah, the hunters. Yeah, that reminds me of the hunters.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about like the look of it, but that feeling. It's like you send the big boys in when okay, now they've got a team on the ground. Now it's time to send in the actual big troop boys.
I don't know, like the kind of feeling I'm getting from looking at this design. It looks like this is something that will like take in organic material. Like it'll eat a person, break them down, and then shoot it back out as acid or something like that. Just from the way,
worse,
like it's
like a little tiny little spider thing.
Yeah.
Made out of ribs. Oh my god, that's gross in my head. Ah!
I'm just imagining.
What's weird to me is that it seems fragile and tanky at the same time.
Yeah. I just imagine Scott right now. He is just writing down. It's like,
Yeah.
Okay, so like it eats. Okay.
Maybe not right? Eating out and spitting out back out as acid. I mean, eating and then spitting. That reminds me of disturbing things. But
so here's what it does. It eats the person, right, and it makes it implants like the ribs into the skull, and it implants a little creature that has like tentacles that moves the ribs as like fucking like spider legs.
I mean,
so
they're demonic creatures.
Yeah.
So they don't need to follow like normal biology.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the what ifs on this thing for almost 5 minutes now.
Yeah.
His drawings.
Yeah.
And it totally, on one side it's like nightmare fuel. On the other side, it's just like, oh, it's so fascinating. I mean, it's like there's so many different ways you could go with this.
Mm-hmm. It's like, and this, we touched on this on our stream last night. We were reading an article from an idiot, and
oh god,
and one of the things he says is like, why do people like the Joker? Well, we like the Joker as a character. We wouldn't like if like there was a guy out there named the Joker who was an actual villain, actually trying to hurt people. No, we wouldn't like him. We would call him a terrorist.
Yeah, we'd be like, oh wow, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
No.
I'll say, no. Yeah. As fiction goes, you can appreciate a villain. I
was gonna say, as much as you can appreciate a well-written hero, that well-written hero needs a well-written villain too.
Yeah. So
we need a guy for our heroes to fight.
In fact, my favorite phrase is some of my favorite villains are the ones that I love to hate.
Mm-hmm.
Because I hate them so much, and that makes me like them as a character.
Yeah. Shout out to Googly Eyes. Shout out to Googly Eyes and your complete fucking waste of a master's degree in fine arts, you fucking moron.
What were you going to say, Scott? I heard you trying.
I was just saying, this is why it was so important for me to get somebody who understood what I was, what was in my head.
Yeah.
For this evil threat, because if the demon was just, it's pretty good, then that would be a real letdown when you open that page and you see that big splash where you see this thing for the first time. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's just, it was really important for me to get this right. Alejandro's absolutely the right guy to do it. And he has exceeded my expectations, not with just the one I chose, but with like this one is,
Yeah.
So,
plus showing off the concept arts is like I'm genuinely interested in your book just looking at these concept arts for the model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Xavier's right now. He's like, man, I'm glad I backed this book. Fuck.
Fucking A.
Xavier, you did it. You backed it a couple weeks ago, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're probably gonna want to refund that book, and so you can add the black and white cover.
Damn you.
or just back it again and get the black and white cover.
Yeah.
Do that.
Spend more money. Yeah, this is not a. Just let everybody know, this is not a scheme and a scam for him to. He's not trying to say everybody refund. He's just saying if refund and get the better thing is what he's.
Let me kind of explain that. I'll drop the. Actually, give me just a second. Let me drop the cover and the link.
Okay. I'm feeling the dead air. Exactly.
Don't dead air me.
Don't dead air me, Dongo.
Dongo rolling wheel of the disabled tribe. Me no do gay up.
Me chase magic rock and firebox.
I just uploaded the cover.
Alrighty, so, I'm gonna put it up. Yeah, that looks freaking sweet.
Told you.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the reason I like this, and what I tell people. I've had some folks that say, I don't want to put a comic book out unless I can get, it has to be in color and stuff. I was like, well, I can appreciate, color. I'm not saying color is, not a good thing for comics, but there is a huge market out for the black and whites.
Yeah.
Because the way a lot of people look at it, the black and white, that's the essence of what the artist, is putting on paper,
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people appreciate that. So
it's also important to remember that if something is in black and white, it's typically drawn or inked in such a way to look really fucking good in black and white.
Yeah.
And so am I right about this one? I mean, this is the kind of I literally could. It was a decision I made within hours of seeing this.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks perfectly. I actually like that better than the color.
So I'm pretty partial to the cover version, but I love both of them. So it's kind of like my
Yeah.
I can't choose between them. I wouldn't. That print. I haven't even decided what size it is yet. I'm thinking about going poster versus print.
Mm-hmm.
So it would fold up, and go in the package with the book.
Yeah.
And then so when you fold it out, it would be larger. I think that's the way I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
He does that with his books, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's kind of like what
bigger print.
Yeah. It's kind of like what Malin said the other night during his thing. He said we're going to max out these Gemini mailers. So right now, like for example, if you bought, just using it as an example, if you bought like his, what I think they call it the blood bag tier of Graveyard Shift 2, you get Graveyard Shift Volume 1 with an alternate cover. You get Graveyard Shift Volume 2. You get the supplemental book, and now you're getting a fourth book.
Wow.
U.S. Assassins, an 80-page book. So you're getting 4 books.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And
Jesus.
So he said that's why he said we're going to max out those Gemini mailers. Going to be shoving them in there. And I think they come with cards and stuff too. So yeah,
cards and I think So I mean, you get your money's worth on that campaign.
Yeah. And you got like a couple of. Let me look. You got like. Didn't you have a tier? You had a tier with both covers. You had a $45.
So you got the both covers. You got each cover. If you like Narwhal's cover better, you can get just that one. If you like the main cover of that one better, you can get that one.
Yeah.
If you like the black and white, you can get just that one.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, you can get both covers. So that's the A and B cover. And then if you want let's say you haven't backed yet, Piper, I bet you haven't backed yet, but you love the art, so you're probably going to come back it. So if you decided, well, I want to get both covers. I don't know, but I also like that print. So if I go down, I could get the collector's bundle, but the collector's bundle doesn't have the black and white print cover in it. Oh, but if I just add it on for $20, no additional shipping.
Yeah.
Bam. I get both. I get all 3 covers and the print. I think a fairly good price. Everything's signed, so there's no problem with that. And
let's for example, let's because I'm just going to go pretend like I'm going to order it for a second here. So so people can see the back end. A lot of people get to see the back end of Indiegogo, right? When you're ordering. So right here you got both covers, so that's the $45, and I'm shipping. How much is shipping? 10 or?
Yes, 10 for 2 covers domestic.
Okay, so domestic $10 to domestic. Okay, and so then you could let's say you want to add that perk, so we just added that, and then that adds to it. So that's now you have both covers and the add-on, $65. So you're looking at $75 for the whole
so there's
thing.
your add-on. You add that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I want to point
that's
out,
cool. That lets you add that on to whatever you order. That's neat.
Now what I want to
didn't even know you could do that with Indiegogo.
Yeah. What I want to point out here too is this: the regular price would be $70 for just 2 covers. See, Scott is discounting it 35% off to bring it down to $45. And the same thing with the add-on cover, the black and white. Nice. So when you get down to it, you're really paying $5 for shipping.
If you look at the discounted, because you're getting that, So think of it this way: if you buy a single book by itself, it's $25 plus $10 shipping.
Yeah.
2 books, it's still $10 shipping, but it's $25 cheaper for the second book.
Yeah.
If you get a 3rd book, that's another $20. So that's a discount of $10. So you actually get free shipping. Actually paying for 3 books. You get free shipping.
Exactly.
They say all books are created equal, but you look at Doorkickers and you look at Earthworm Jim, and Earthworm Jim knows that he can't take 35%. I can't take 35%. I don't remember it well enough.
I found my people.
Your people? You found your people? Your people. Your people.
I found my people.
Yeah. I mean, I know Xavier was going for, what is it? It's like, Wenger warned me about people like you with your schemes and scams and refunds.
That's chicanery.
Now, we didn't add chicanery in yet. Let's just back off that a little bit.
Where does shenanigans fit into?
Shenanigans happens after the refunds.
Oh, okay.
Next person who says shenanigans is fired.
You
can't prefer.
What's the name of that place?
Tomfoolery.
Shit on the walls.
Shenanigans.
Oh God, I like that little dig you gave on old Dirtworm there. By the way.
Well, I couldn't think of any other book I kind of disliked. So.
Well. I have a feeling Scott he will at least fulfill his international backers.
I would have said Goddess Mode, but nobody bought Goddess Mode.
Wait a minute, that's bullshit because we know you've bought Goddess Mode.
I said I bought it. I went full RoboCop. I bought that shit for $1.
Yeah.
He bought that for $1.
He bought Scott. He bought the entire run of Goddess Mode, all five issues for $1. 6 issues for $1. And even then, he doesn't think he got charged for it.
Yeah, I bought other books, and I legitimately think they forgot to add it to the total.
They didn't forget. They were just glad to get rid of it.
They were just glad to get it off the shelf.
I don't know. There were 7 bundles. I could probably go back and get more.
So we're having a contest. Where our big announcement last night was if we hit 1,000, when we hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're going to have a special bonfire stream, and he's going to burn all the Goddess Modes.
Nice.
That's about the only thing they're good for.
Yeah, a little kindling. You're right.
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out they burn like shit too.
Is that is
DC has good paper.
yeah.
Trash that's on it sometimes.
I mean, the ink that's used is wasted, but other than that, I mean, the paper's quality is pretty decent.
Yeah, amen, brother. Amen.
So yeah,
I have a question,
sure.
and I'm going to be as cryptic as possible about this, and you lead me towards decryption or, and I love doing this kind of stuff live versus behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Have you guys said anything about a little birdie?
We have not.
There have been hints here and there, but nothing concrete. No.
Okay. I'm just because I didn't know if you had said anything. I've hinted with people behind the scenes about it, but
Yeah, just a little, just a little thing here and there. Somebody, Xavier, was about to spill the beans the other day, but luckily we had to go live, so.
Thankfully, I have a memory problem, so I have no idea what anybody's talking about at any one time.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm just stupid.
Yeah, and Piper never pays attention anyway, so.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening right now.
We're not saying yes, and we're not saying no, but
Literally.
Wait.
Cocainum.
Wait, Cap's not here.
Yeah, Cab. We're saving that for Cab. What are you doing?
Oh.
If we don't save it for Cab, he's gonna go on a fucking rampage.
Yeah, you keep a gay man away from his cocaine. What's wrong with you?
you guys want to see another cool image that popped up late last week?
Sure.
Ew.
Yeah.
So have you guys been? So you guys have been following the campaign.
Yeah.
I do the daily daily tweets, right?
Yeah.
And so you are. So I've the character drawings. Have you seen the character drawings?
I've not, personally.
I've seen some of them, but I do Twitter for chunks at a time.
Yeah.
Maybe this would be a good opportunity to just share because I've got 6 and I want to share the most recent one, but I figure maybe I give you guys the other ones first, and we can that way we've got more stuff to show. I like showing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you like showing
so-
off. You should like showing off stuff. Unlike that, Mike Murphy is going to be here Friday. What a jerk.
I book looks seriously good. I don't understand why anybody wouldn't back that sucker. I haven't backed it yet, but I'm going to back that book.
Well, God's Fear Me. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I just love that artist. And
when he did those test color
concept.
pages too, that look even the flats just look really good.
big fan of flats. I mean, like I show Farrah's flats a lot because I have a lot of confidence in her.
Yeah.
I mean, if she were to give me a flat that I didn't think just didn't look awesome, I wouldn't show it because I wouldn't,
Right.
I haven't seen any of hers that didn't look just awesome. So.
Well, I mean, that's a good track record, then. Yeah. I mean, like.
Yeah. No, she's a great colorist. So like all these, I'll let you know the exceptions, but all of the character drawings were, except for 2, I think, were colored by her.
All right, so we got the first one up.
This is Bill.
Nice.
So Bill is the team leader. Is a former Delta Force operator. If you got the 10-page story, then you've met Bill already. He essentially gets recruited in that 10-page story when he sees one of these Odins for the first time, and he doesn't lose his shit, so it's kind of like he's got what they're looking for.
Mm.
So I shoot that thing.
I mistook the helmet he's holding as like having Tesla coils on it. I was like, oh, that's rad. And it's like, oh, it's just not.
All right,
Night vision.
So we got the next one up.
And then, so the next one is Jigna. So Jigna is our intel specialist. This is, by the way, first drawing was Eric Weathers, colored by Farrah. And then this one is Kelsey Shannon. colored by himself. He actually drew this one live
on the Jack show. I saw this. Yeah, I saw that because I remember he kept looking at guns and Cecil was worried.
I was watching it live because he asked me beforehand. He said, "You don't mind if I draw this on live on the stream, do you?" And I was like, "No, absolutely. Just tell him where it's coming from."
Yeah, because I remember he was drawing because he had like a picture of a gun like as his model, for the gun she's holding. And,
the reference.
Yeah. And Cecil was actually worried. He's like, "KLC, why are you looking at guns?"
Hey, some of you guys are okay. Don't go to Cecil's stream.
Don't go to
Banned.
Banned immediately.
Her magic power is so Bill doesn't have a magic power, but Jigna's magic power is understand languages just inherently, all human languages and some non-human languages. So that kind of gets her into a little bit of trouble in the Panzer Demon storyline. So you'll have to see.
Okay.
Does he get tomb rot?
She.
Well, you'll have to see.
She get tomb rot? Excuse me.
Does she
Memory
like
problem right there.
So now I got
memory problems. You see right there.
Oh.
Immediately. So you could tell Mike anything. Your secret's safe is what he's trying to say. This guy can remember. This guy can remember things from like exoteric ages and deep historical nonsense. But you tell him something that happened like 5 minutes ago, he's like,
He remembered the plot of an isekai novel that pissed me off, and then when retelling it, it pissed him off. 2 weeks later.
So yeah, let's go over
this
black and white that you got.
This is Matt Weldon.
Okay. Another Matt Weldon piece.
No, this is not Matt Weldon. This is Marius, my combat mage.
Mm-hmm.
Drawn by Matt Weldon.
I was going to say, Matt Weldon as Matt Weldon is he's self-inserted into Doorkickers.
he wants to exist as a sketch character versus a fully realized character.
Yeah.
So Matt drew this. This is just So the kind of interesting thing about Marius is that if you look at his armor in the preview pages on the campaign, and a couple of other places, he has like this Roman like breastplate type thing on, kind of like the gladiator armor, because it's enchanted. It was found on the body of a dead Roman soldier, and it didn't deteriorate at all. It was absolutely magical. And he has always been a student of Roman and Mediterranean mysticism. That's where he kind of draws his tradition from, that he studies very much. He's got like those bandages around his head. That's like an enchanted type deal, so that he can do different things, and he has the ability to ward it in different ways, and it gives him different kind of buffs. So he's an interesting guy, and he's just as good with a gun as he is with a spirit finger, like you see on the cover.
So he's kind of like your all-around soldier.
Yeah, well, he's definitely more magical than anything else. And so for instance, in the opening door kicking scene, he's the number 3 guy, and he doesn't have a gun.
Okay.
So because he's doing,
but capable of using weaponry if need be.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever watched Quigley Down Under. You remember that?
Yeah.
At the end of the movie, he says, "Oh, you have to use the pistol because you said you didn't. This isn't your weapon." And then he outdraws the pistol guy with a pistol, and he says, "Just because I didn't say I prefer it, didn't mean I can't use it." So
yeah, exactly.
He just doesn't prefer a machine gun, but
yeah. It's kind of like
so we can go to the next one.
Yeah, well, just tell I remember, like Mike might remember this back when we used to play like Street Fighter 4 together, and I would like my character. I would always use T-Hawk because I kind of like found a way to win with him pretty much, right? Mm-hmm. And that was more of my challenge character. I was like, if I can win with him, I can do pretty good. And then like one day they we did rando, and I ended up with Ryu. And everybody was like, "Oh, he's going to lose this one." And like I tore up with Ryu, and of course, and I said, "Guys, just because I don't use Ryu doesn't mean I can't use Ryu."
That was great. Everyone got so pissed off.
Yeah. So here we are with Mr. Swordman. That's his name, right, Mr. Swordman?
Stillon is a very interesting character. I don't really want to get too much into his background, but needless to say, he is the super strong guy in the group. He's not like Hulk strong or anything like that. He's more like strong as the strongest natural person. So he may be able to bench press a ton. I don't know, something like that.
Would you rank him as DPS or tank?
Yes.
So
I'm sorry. Did it cut off, or did you just say yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes? Question mark.
Okay.
I would
damage.
I know the way to classify him. It would be if you played the old City of Heroes. You remember the villain archetype, the Brute. Very heavy damage, but with tanking abilities. That would
he's a tank in this world, but he's nothing like even how Marvel is way depowered compared to DC.
Yeah,
he's not even a tank in the Marvel world, but he's a tank.
Like if you were going to put him into strength, you said like maybe like you're talking about like peak human condition as far as strength goes, right?
Peak human condition.
Yeah, that's how they always describe. Well, yeah, but that's always if you ever read like Batman, that's always how to describe Batman. In peak human condition. Yeah, him
and Captain America were always the peak human, like abilities.
Yeah.
Well, so he is inherently magical. There's, like I said, I don't want to get too much into his backstory.
Right.
But he is inherently magical. He is a veteran of many wars.
Oh God, he's Wolverine.
he's not, but he does have a sword, a magic sword. So there is that.
So he's He-Man, is what you're telling me.
Yes,
He-Man.
No fear, like he will literally throw himself into the maw of destruction.
Gotcha. Who is texting me at freaking 11:30 at night? Get out of here.
Up afterwards, and I'll give you the backstory on this guy. It's actually pretty interesting. I was kind of shocked myself how good it was.
Yeah, don't you like that? You come up with a concept, it's like, man, that's really good. So let's go to this guy.
Next guy is, I think, Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar. I'm sorry, but at first, I didn't see the whole thing because it says Sugar and then _ T, and I thought, is this character named Sugar Tits? What the? Sorry.
It was Jigga that had the big tits, but other than that.
Yeah.
When does this album drop?
Probably about the same time your balls drop.
Oh. Ooh, fucking. Man. Just.
Fucking.
I can't believe Xavier's fucking dead.
Like, Xavier, I want to ask you something. How does it feel to be nuked from orbit?
I don't know. There was just a bright flash, and here I was. Is this heaven?
Oh, God. Okay, so yeah. Piper.
That's why I cut it off after saying.
So, Sugar. Tell us about old Sugar here.
Sugar is he's the sniper in the group, and so he really doesn't get too much into you got to understand, and the story can change a little bit after you see the art, and things can go a little differently as far as the dialogue. But in this story, we don't really get too much into Sugar's background. But his background is that he's Catholic, and so he's very religious. And because he is this Catholic, he was thrust into this world where there are demons and things like that. He kind of, the veil was pulled back, and he saw there was all this stuff out there. He became very devout in his Catholicism. But
see, we were right.
Well, no. So that's just it. It's draws from kind of like the same source of power. Is it God? Is it a different dimension? Something like that, right? But they tap into that same kind of energy, and so a devout, something blessed with somebody who has tapped into that energy. All of a sudden that relic is real. So like many of the relics that they venerate within the Catholic religion. Holy relics, magical relics with some sort of power. And so he, so there are Catholics that actually work within the Doorkickers organization, kind of like the Q branch of the Doorkickers organization, that can make things for him, that whether it's a blessed bullet or things like this, that and that have the power, because hits a demonic creature, it's going to do more damage because it has that imbued positive religious power in it. So it kind of connects into the larger scheme of how the magic of this world works. And so I kind of like the idea of having atheists and devout Catholics on the same team, because ultimately, they haven't seen God, but they sure have seen the devil, and both of them are scared of it. So
Yeah.
It's a very rich tapestry that that's made up this team.
Right. And that's the funny thing. It's funny how it's do you ever notice, like, in most stories, and I'm not saying anything about your storytelling or anything like that, so don't get this me wrong, but always notice in like those kind of stories, the sniper is always the hardest story to tell, or to come up with a really good storyline behind him for a little bit until you like get into what he is and stuff, and then you're like, oh, okay, now I got it.
That's because he's not on the ground at ground zero with the team, So I will say he has his moment in the story, where he gets to be the kind of the saving grace. So no pun intended.
It reminded me, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I read somewhere that snipers are usually like the only like troops that come back without any form of PTSD, because they're the first ones that see the reason why they're shooting somebody. Like they see like this, they shoot kid, but they see that the kid has like a grenade put in his hand by like their mom or something, or like they're able to deal with that.
They see the reason behind it instead of the split second decision. Essentially, is what you're trying.
Now, would this work in the opposite direction? I mean, they're looking directly at this fucking monster, like closer than the other guys are, and they're
yeah.
Or would it? Would he get that sniper protection where he's like, okay, I see that this fucking thing is here, it needs to go?
I kind of come at this from a different angle, right? The vast majority of people who have PTSD never fired a weapon at an enemy. So I tend to think, like, having been in a gunfight before, I think there's something liberating with the fact that you actually are able to do something against a perceived threat.
Right.
And then there's also so there's the whole idea of desensitization, right? Like, if the more your targets in practice look like real people, the easier it is to pull a trigger on a real person when the time comes. Because whether it's like video games, there is the whole idea of desensitization within video games. And then the next piece is okay, the psychological, so like Delta Force and those kind of folks are highly selective on the psychological, You kind of want somebody in these roles that aren't going to empathize too much with people. So they tend to be, maybe borderline sociopathic, probably.
Yeah.
Because I know, like,
or sociopaths, but they've got those tendencies. It's kind of like, you want to get close to the line, but not too close, because.
But you want somebody that won't hesitate.
Exactly right.
Because hesitating can.
If like Commander says, if Commander is saying take the shot, and not think about it for 5 minutes. Yeah.
Let me just tell you this. I mean, I've known a lot of snipers. I've known a lot of guys who actually do this kind of thing. I can't think of any of the guys that I've talked to have ever had any issue with hesitation or anything like that.
Right.
Like none of them. Like, have you ever? Oh no, I mean, it's not even a.
Yeah, not even a thought.
A long time before, yeah.
Well, the reason
and it really does take a certain kind of person to be able to do that.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, it takes a certain kind of person to be able to join the army in the first place.
That's true.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But so you gotta think of how many times you have to volunteer in order to get to like these special operations units.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it like, I mean, back to what I was talking about, like with snipers and like storytelling. Once again, I go to video games and I think about, in Halo Reach, where they had this team and they had a sniper named June, right? Everybody else on Noble team died except June. Just saying.
There is a saving grace of distance,
Yeah. It was literally with June. It's like, June, you go with the package and make sure it gets delivered. All right. And that was the last time we saw June.
So real quick, the last drawing, Stillin, right?
Yeah.
So Stillin was drawn by Don DeLay.
Oh yeah, I can see the delay.
It looks
I
a
love
little weird,
that.
to be honest.
I
But
definitely hope he can do something for me again in the future. And then Sugar was done by Ted.
I said it on the
name.
thing.
Lehman. Ted Lehman. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ted Lehman. Yeah, it said it on the. Yeah. Okay.
He also did the bluish cover. So he's highly talented, very good at drawing guns and gear and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then this is why am I blinking
Parker
on names tonight? No, this is
Well, it says Parker in the thing.
No, that's Parker. That's the name of the character, but
Right.
it's Andrew Huerta.
Oh, okay.
And,
yeah, that's definitely Huerta. Yeah. That's that. I call that the graffiti style. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that book Sovereign. So I asked him if he would do one of these characters, and he was more than happy to. And it was worth the wait. I just love his take on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love his style in general.
Very angular style. Lots
very
of
interested to see what he would do with like one of the monsters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, clearly this is not a depiction of reality. This guy with all these kind of jagged edges and everything.
Mm-hmm. Like in the actual story, he's going to look different, but just for the concept, yeah.
But like a demonic creature could look like that in real life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
With all jagged, irregular,
mm-hmm.
and geometry.
Yeah, I think that's the one kind of plus thing you have with like working with extra dimensional beasts is you could have them in a completely different art style than the rest of the book,
and it would work.
It works.
Yeah.
It's like
No, I've actually thought of that. So I mean, and I thought of that again too when he turned this in. So anyway, so I got this at the end of last week. So like right around the same time I got the concepts from Alejandro, and I also got the new print. So it was
it was like Christmas
it
and
kind of got lost in the
Christmas in September, pretty much. Yeah.
That's exactly right. It was a bounty of blessings. So these guys have just been really good as far as their art goes, and I've just been really happy to be able to work with all these great artists and the team on the book. Eric Weathers and Loris. I mean, it's just By the way, Farrah's on Twitter now, so go check her out on Twitter.
What's her? Do you know her at? That would be
It up because she hasn't been on Twitter much long, so I haven't memorized it yet. But I dropped it yesterday as a tweet.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, I'll look at your timeline while we're doing that. I'm doing it on my phone, so it don't. So I don't look totally unprofessional while trying to.
All right. Yeah.
Well, not for this.
Which character are you guys more interested in?
Well, let's see. Let's take a vote, lads.
Yeah, I mean, we got enough people here to where it's
Yeah.
Farrah and Numeraliza, the Twitter.
Farrah and Numeraliza. Okay. Well,
I like.
Okay, let's go start. We'll start from the beginning. So we got Bill, right?
Bill's a little dry, but he's kind of the cipher, I think, for the viewing audience. He kind of, every time he sees something for the first time.
Yeah. So we got him. So and then we got Jigna.
See, now I'm gonna vote for her,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not just because she's the chick. If she was a dude, I still like the neat concept. It probably is also a little bit because she's a chick. Because I mean,
Yeah.
yay, girls.
I'll be honest with you. Character-wise, she's very intriguing. I think if I were to make this a TV show, I would probably have her as her and Bill and Stillon would probably be my three kind of main protagonists as far as, because Stillon would be that kind of Chewbacca kind of character who doesn't really say a whole lot, but he's always hanging around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we got.
Oh,
sorry.
She shows up with the 10-page story also features her a lot as well. So
Nice.
So and then we got the this character, the black and white. I forgot his name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Marius.
Marius. So we got that one. We go to. Then we got Stillon, Swordman, He-Man.
Okay, I'm putting my vote in for Sword Wolverine.
Okay, Sword Wolverine.
I'm kind of tied between Sword Wolverine and Sugar.
Yeah, Sugar's really. I like the idea of Sugar.
Well, shoot, I like the idea of all of them.
Well, yeah.
Also, the man who caused my death. I need to know more about him.
Yeah. The man who caused my death. I gotta find it. I need to know if this death was worthy. All right.
I didn't talk about Parker's role. Parker's role is he is the healer. He's the medic. He was he's a little older. He's probably in his mid 40s.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a 20-year 18 Delta Special Forces medic. But he came from a healing kind of family, Celtic kind of, that type of Viking background, and so he had a lot of kind of traditional healing stuff passed along to him. But he didn't realize that there was that until much later, in his adventures, his military adventures, and then. He joined ESD. They kind of hunted him and brought him in. And so now he applies both modern medicine and traditional magic healing. That's his bag.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. Medics. They're always needed. I probably have to go. I'm gonna go with Piper. I think Jigna is my favorite. So
I like the idea of beauty and brains.
Yeah. Plus the sunglasses are boss too.
Right?
Yeah.
And she still looks like she carries herself like a complete badass. So she's not like shoved into one of those character tropes of, being just one job kind of thing. Yeah. Or being the chick.
Right. So, she is very much the weakest team member. That being said, she's not weak. She's probably, if you got 100 random women along, she would be the alpha woman in that group. That being said,
she's the least experienced.
Unlike a lot of, I wouldn't even say that. I mean, because her background, she was headhunted out of college by the CIA because of her language ability. Mm-hmm. And then, also she's Indian American, so she's totally
I just love her even freaking more. Damn.
California girl, but she had, her family is like Sikh or something like that. And so she has this background with, Central Asian languages. And so the fact that she magically could, take to languages, she could literally sit down, before her power was developed, it would take her talking to somebody for 30 minutes and she could start to understand them. And she never understood it. She just thought it was.
That's just how you do things.
That's right. But it really is a magical gift for her. And so the CIA recruits her. And then from within the CIA, she draws the attention because this is this girl who knows 25 languages. That's not, shouldn't be.
That's not
able
normal.
to do that, right?
Yeah.
So which is the Enhanced Services Directorate, they're the kind of clandestine organization that investigates all the supernatural stuff. They headhunt her, test her, they realize she's magical, and they essentially open her eyes to like, no, you can understand all the languages. And if we train you, you can literally pick it up immediately. And so she develops her power. But, she also has a background as a field agent with the CIA. So she's not just a wilting violet, technical person. She's a gunslinger, and she gets in, and they need her as a field agent, but she's drawn more to the more paramilitary aspect versus the spy. She doesn't want to be Jane Bond anymore. She wants to be the one who comes up and cleans up the mess, not the one that finds the mess.
Right.
So. But as you see, so that magic scroll, who do you think reads the magic scroll? I mean, nobody else can read this demonic language, so she's got to be the one that does it. And so
then
that
she gets Tomb Rod.
Hmm.
Oh, God.
so that's how we get into trouble,
Yeah, I really like all of them. I'm probably still drawn because she is the chick, but I also like her job basically and her power. And the concept is it makes sense that she wouldn't be the best in combat, the most skilled in combat at all. Like that would make sense.
Yeah.
But she's still standing there like a badass. So
Yeah.
The other thing that's important to me is that she's not a Mary Sue. She's had her hero's journey already. You guys are seeing her after her hero's journey because she had her kind of rejection of her family life and and her culture, and she wanted something more, and so she already had her kind of initial adventure. So you're seeing her at 32 years old. She's been doing this shit now for 8 years. At least 4 or 5 of it's probably with ESD. So imagine the shit that she's seen, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've, I would say with as far as character designs and concepts and things, we've really pierced the veil of what goes into like trying to make a comic. I like this. This is a good stream.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they go over to project, which I got no problem with. They go over to project, but you're actually going behind the, taking us behind the scenes, what happened in the making of, essentially. It's like,
yeah, man. And up in a month, and I'll tell you all the stuff with the campaign that didn't go well too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because I think that's what a lot of people need to know, especially those aspiring to do a comic or do a campaign like this. People need to know what to expect. It's like there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. I mean, I got DM'd by Mike Murphy the other day and said, "Hey man, we've hit a little slow spot. Can we kind of come on the show?" Yeah, absolutely. Come on.
Yeah.
So he's going to be here Friday. So yeah, Mike's good folks. And like I said, now that I figured out I can put stream elements and let that keep putting the link in the chat. That's a great idea. I said I'm smart. I figured things out.
It's what you guys do is really important. And the thing I like about your show is you do different shows on different days. You've got a great kind of crew here that have different voices and bring different things to the game. So, I think, you guys, you don't have the hugest audience, but you don't have you had 9 people sitting there waiting for us. We were 20 minutes late or whatever.
Yeah.
You had 9 people waiting. And so you've got some very loyal fans. And I think that's so important. That's something that's very important about Comicsgate. We kind of get it, and they're not even your fans anymore. They're your friends, because they know you. Yeah. They can get to know you, and they're the people you tweet with during the day, and what all this is.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I got to say this. Hey, anybody in the chat who found us because Ethan Van Sciver or Nick Rekieta mentioned us on stream, I just want to say one thing. Thank you. I know that's a hard concept to think you're right.
Unsub you.
Say what now?
I thought you were going to tell them to unsub you because that's not a legitimate reason to.
Yeah. Yeah. If you found me because of somebody else that I no longer like, then unsub me for me immediately. Well, no, because my thing is, if you found me through somebody else, great. If you enjoyed my content, great. If for some reason that there's a falling out between that particular person or whatever, or let's say tomorrow I stop liking Nick Rekieta, for example, right? I'm sure Xavier probably doesn't like him too much because he won't answer his emails. But
he told me he'd come on our show. We just have to schedule a date. I've been trying to schedule him since July. And you know what he tells me every time I spend money to get his attention? I saw your email, man. I'm just busy. I'll get back to you.
every time. It's every time. And he finally DMs me on the graded account, right? And I was like, well, what's a good day for you? I'm still waiting. But I'm not trying. And let me just say, when we say stuff like that, we're joking because, yeah, we would love to have Nick Ricada on our show, obviously. But I understand he's busy. You know,
and we all he has his own show, and we are still a kind of small show. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like,
I get it. We're not on the top of the priority list or something.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I haven't been sending him any money recently, and there's a reason.
So the funny thing is that for me, a show like yours is exactly where I want to be. Yeah. Because I'm able to do it one-on-one with you guys. So this show, right? So I've got an update that I'm going to send out tomorrow's Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
An update, kind of like my final update before the end of the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to send that out on Thursday, and work on it after the show here. But and one of the things I'm going to put on there, so I'm going to plug some videos, and one of the videos I'm going to plug is your video, and I'm going to take, it'll have a screenshot from our thing, and it'll be me talking about how awesome it was to talk to you guys, and it'll be a link in there. Because this is a show where we're talking about Doorkickers, and that's it.
Yeah.
And the crazy stuff that you guys mentioned.
There's a lot of in references and things like that we throw around, but it's all in good fun.
There's plenty of crazy to go around, though.
Yeah. I mean, my show. The way I look at it, it's kind of like I try to play the happy medium, right? We report on news, like yesterday. Our show was about news, right? Stuff that's going on, like the thing, like Zoe Quinn being hired by DC, blah blah blah, things like that. Exactly. It gives Piper the chills. But
there was more than one reason why I wasn't there last night.
Yeah,
sort of.
Well, but the rest of this week is all is all promoting campaigns. Like You're the First. Tomorrow night we got the creators of Oddity that'll be here. Thursday night is the creator. I think the project is called Firestone. And then, like I said, on Friday will be Mike Murphy with The Gods Fear Me. So I enjoy doing that. Does it get less views than the other stuff? Yes, but it's still important to me, right? Because not to go on too much of a rant about this, but when you see, we said earlier, somebody was talking about what's the deal. I saw somebody in the chat say, what's the deal with Comicsgate? Why is there all this arguing, blah, blah, blah. There is a divide on what is Comicsgate and what, is it consumers? Is it creators? I have always felt it is both, right?
Yeah.
Because what's the point of fussing about this stuff, when you're arguing or not arguing, when you're trying to get Marvel or DC's attention or IDW or whoever, it's like, hey guys, we don't like what you're doing. So what I'm going to do to show you that I don't like what you're doing, I'm going to buy your books and then get mad at them on stream. I don't think that sends the correct message.
Yeah, to be honest, any freaking person running that's going to be like, but you bought the book, so I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
I got your money.
Vince McMahon always said, like, when people get mad at his booking decisions, you know what he says? They're still watching. They're still buying tickets.
Yeah. From a messaging perspective, I think it's very, very important that the consumers and the creators are not separated, because that's kind of what caused this situation in the first place. The creators were over here and the consumers were over here, and, well, it was just decided that the two are not allowed to meet.
Yeah.
and then you get egos into it, and it just creates a class issue where you got your upper class, that's your creators, and your lower class, the people that have to pay to keep them rich or keep them employed.
Yeah.
The thing that's interesting is when I was a kid, comic book creators were like people in movies. They were completely, you could never interact with them. And they had the letters page, but how many thousands of letters did they get for each issue?
That was usually just answered by some editor and not like the actual artist or writer or whatever, so.
Somebody's paid to read that letter and respond nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is that now there is not a fan of Cyberfrog that can't reach out and talk and contact EBS directly, or and if they're persistent, they become known, and he references them, and he'll say hello to them in his chat when he sees them and things like that. That is not a escape. You can get to know
notices them.
The smaller, all of the YouTubers, you can go on.
Thank you for muting yourself. Hey, hold on a second.
Jesus.
If you're going to sneeze, mute yourself. What the?
I couldn't help it.
All right, Scott, sorry. Continue, please, because you're on a roll there.
But you can make the transition. The barrier to entry is very low. You just have to be a cool person, because if you've got your issues, then you're probably going to have, a harder time. But if you're somebody who just and agree and disagree, just like a regular human being, then you're going to have no problem interacting with the entire community.
Yeah. And there was some, like I said, I'll tell you some stuff when we go offline that I've been hearing from other people, but that's not important right now. But my point is, if all you're doing in the end is fussing about how bad comics are, and I was actually told, because I said, because they try to use Zach as the example of OG Comicsgate. I'm like, Zach made a book.
Yeah.
I don't, what do you mean? Well, he still does reviews of comics and stuff. I was like, yeah, but he made a book.
Most of that shit is just fucking filler to fill the time between publishing his next book and the next big breakthrough in his case.
Yeah. So that the whole thing is like, but he's done something more than just fuss about it. I mean, he tried with, was it Move the Needle? He tried with that. It didn't work. Why? Because they don't care. Marvel and DC don't care.
Yeah.
They don't give a crap. Right? And
Absolutely.
And then I was told by somebody, not everybody wants to make a book. I'm like, not everybody has to make a book.
Yeah.
But in my capacity as a YouTube, as a YouTube channel, can I not help people who do want to make books?
Yeah.
I mean, and you should.
I consider that a very symbiotic relationship, don't you? I mean,
we're kind of entering a creative comic book renaissance here. Shit's about to just get really hot soon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really like that Comicsgate has achieved, no matter which direction everybody wants to tug it to or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What it still managed to do is, before Comicsgate, indies trying to do this by themselves, no publisher, self-publish. It was everybody for themselves,
and they had a very limited scope. As you would say. Yeah.
And what Comicsgate did help do is now indies, instead of viewing each other as competition, most indies now are viewing each other as, they should, fellow creators, and they're helping each other and giving each other advice and promoting each other. And it's a lot easier for them to get in front of the audience they need, because the audience is now all gathered under, one umbrella.
It's also making better books, because everyone's helping each other.
Yeah.
Because I have this idea, that's a good idea, and then helping refine that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just means better books for everybody in the end.
So no matter what Comicsgate is trying to be or fighting over right now, it still accomplished something really great, because especially since I want to be an indie creator in the future.
Yeah.
I didn't know jack about anything and how to go about it.
And you
it was
have
all,
from just our streams, you've learned a lot, haven't you? Like,
yeah. I learned a whole lot, just from talking to people on this stream and, watching other people's streams and even just tweeting with, some indie creators.
mm-hmm.
And it doesn't feel like, oh man, there is so much competition out there. Why even try? Now it's, oh man, there's so much support out there. I can't wait to do this.
Well, I saw a lot of people, like, they'll try to compare. Well, there's always been a market for indie comics on, Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I'm like, because what they're trying to say is, like, these people who do webcomics like PvP Online and Penny Arcade and OG Chan.
OG Chan.
And OG Chan. But those things, like, those, PvP, and like, looking for group and least I could do, those kind of things, when they fund a project, oh, they made $1 million. Well, yeah, they've been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah.
And when they do a compilation book, of course they're going to make money. But remember that those books start out at, like, almost $100.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah.
I think you can relate a lot of what's happening with, like, Indiegogo and comics to what happened with Kickstarter and
video games. Yeah.
Because you didn't really see that many actual video games on Kickstarter until you had the big thing succeed very well.
Yeah, you need a big thing. I'll say it. I'll put it on record. Jawbreakers 1, the first Jawbreakers campaign blew the doors off.
Yeah.
When it came to, an individual wanting to fund a comic, because by all rights, he shouldn't have succeeded.
Right.
Remember, everybody in the mainstream, everybody's saying, oh, you can't do it because you're a hateful, you're a bigot, you're a Nazi, you're this and that and the other, you hate black people, and all this other stuff. I mean,
when he did his first book, was it Iron Sights, right?
No, Jawbreakers was his first one, the first Jawbreakers.
First book?
Yeah.
He had like, what, 40,000 subscribers on YouTube?
Yeah.
Subscribers, you can, especially when they're dedicated, like, he was very polarizing at that time.
Yeah.
And like the comic industry hated him because I had friends that were in the comic industry back then, and I was unaware of who Zach was at the time.
Yeah. And
they just kept railing about it's this guy. They said he's this big neo-Nazi Trump supporter, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a pretty cool guy. I got to check him out. So.
I mean, you're talking.
Find out I actually with him through email back in the late '90s, which is kind of ironic.
I mean, I'm sorry, but a guy who who enlists twice, I gotta give him a little more respect than just trying to call him an alt-right neo-Nazi, racist, homophobe, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, well, the point I was going to make is he had fans, and they were dedicated. So I can understand how you can weaponize those fans to turn them into people who pay money to support you.
Yeah.
And I think that because of that dedication, these are the reason why they're willing to buy the highest tier. I haven't developed those kind of fans yet, so that's the reason why it's hard. It's a harder sell for me to sell. My book, because I have to sell myself as well. Yeah. But I get one campaign down, and then I'm going to have a lot more, I think, return customers because they're going to see how badass all this stuff was. Yeah. I've learned a lot of lessons, and Doorkickers 2 is going to be just just going to kick some real ass, man.
It's going to be that much better. Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely. And I don't know. I still don't know who's going to do the art, but I think if the print is any indication, I may have found it. So
there you go.
So good.
But yeah, that
Gabo Elias Ibera. Yes, is his name.
Oh, okay. But it's like I'm going to scroll down to that print one more time because, man, that looks good. Jesus. I think that's just a good image to close out on. What do you think?
Yeah.
That's
so good.
We have gone a little while. You guys normally do an hour, don't you?
Yeah, normally, but we started late, so I was like, I'll give us a little more time kind of thing. So, because
a little bonus.
Yeah, there you go.
We try to be done before when Rackets comes on.
Yeah, we like our Nikki Rackets.
And one more thing I want to say about, I would say that more than half the people who have bought into Doorkickers are Comicsgate people. Probably as high as 80%, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, because it's kind of
100% are kings.
Mike. You always throw something at him, and he just like he's like, huh?
So he says it while I'm talking, and I just don't catch it.
Yeah, Mike.
Well, I mean, so what you're saying is 80% are Comicsgate, but the 100% are kings.
Oh my god.
Mike.
That hurt me, and I'm used to this stupid bullshit.
I had to put Mike back in the cage. Got to put Mike back in the cage. I swear. Lord have mercy.
Hey, it's not me this time. Woo!
You never left the cage, so.
Oh.
But the point I was trying to make is that the general comics audience has no idea about Doorkickers.
Yeah.
And they probably won't find Doorkickers until 2 or 3 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to put some, locally, I'll probably go hit up all the retailers. And so locally people may find it. These kind of books will be hidden gems for a while before they get picked up in any kind of broader.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be so fucking rare. It's unbelievable.
That's a lot of books, though, right? I mean, like a lot of the indie stuff, It's like
that's the reason why when I was a kid, the first issue of Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles was fucking unobtainable. I mean, it wasn't that we couldn't afford it; it's you couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Even if you had $100 to pay for it,
you couldn't find it.
Had it.
Yeah,
that's right.
I mean, it's kind of like.
So these.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No. I was going to say these books are going to be like that. So, like for instance, right now I'm looking at. Generally, the print run is about probably in the neighborhood of 500, but it may just be a little more for me to get like 1,000. So it's like the first $2,000 of printing pays for the first 500, and then maybe $400 more for another 500. And if that's the case, then I'm probably just 3 covers. That's 2 plate changes for the covers, and that's it. Yeah. The interiors are all the same. So it's, I get 1,000 copies of 3 covers, probably I'll limit the black and white and the wall cover, maybe, to 100 to 200 a piece. And then the rest of them would cover A. Mm-hmm. Even cover A is only going to have less than 1,000 copies, probably in the neighborhood of 600 copies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you get one of these, it's rare. And if Doorkickers 2 kicks off, I mean, like everything I don't sell, I'll probably keep some behind for me of each one. But then everything I don't sell, I'm going to build into the next campaign to be able to get it in the next campaign.
Right.
But of course, that'll be higher dollar amounts on the tiers, so it'll be like, in order to get like book 1 and book 2, you're going to be A, limited, and B, it's going to be a $50 entry just to get it.
Yeah.
The time to get the discounted second book was on this campaign.
Exactly.
And you're going to pay $25 for both books because I'm giving you the opportunity to buy the one you missed out on type thing.
Right.
So I still haven't figured all that stuff out, but I'm just kind of taking the model off like what Malin's done.
Mm-hmm.
Down the road, when I've got enough, then I'm going to put it all together in a trade paperback.
Yeah.
And more people will buy that. And when that sells really well, then people are going to start looking on eBay for
the individual issues. Yeah.
That's right. So, guys like you guys who buy 3 or 4 copies, all of a sudden you're going to be able to make, essentially make all your money back. If you spend, $75 on the 3 books, like we were talking, you sell one of the books and you're able to make $50 off of it. And you just paid for almost your entire thing.
Exactly.
You're going to upset the bikini dude by saying that.
know. Well, at least I'm not like some of those, those douchebag Patreon campaigns that say you cannot sell your book.
I will talk to you about that after the stream. I got something to say about that.
There's one point I wanted to bring up though. When you mentioned that that Comicsgate is essentially buying 80% of your books, I think that speaks to like this is a niche audience. It's boys supporting boys in a manner of speaking. We're making comics for each other. And I think because of that, like, and you had the problem earlier in your creation of this, where you watered it down, and apparently you weren't happy with that, and apparently other people weren't happy with it.
Right. Yeah. Well, so I mean, it was just I didn't pay for it. Now that I'm paying for everything, I do it exactly the way I want to do it.
But I think that speaks to Comicsgate, where it's like, I know if I'm gonna go and back your campaign, I would rather have it be 100% coming from you and not this watered down kind of designed by committee shit.
Yeah.
Like, the other thing is that I feel like I can justify every decision and every panel and every page, every cover, every print, everything. I can tell you from a standpoint of the writer why it looks the way it does. Well, why is Jigna different in this picture than this picture? Well, because I gave the artist the latitude to do what they want. But if you want to break down, little details, we can do that. Because and I don't mean like own it as in like ownership. I mean like I own the decisions made on every page.
Yeah.
Even when they're decisions that I didn't inherently make. So like a great example is page 4. Of the on the campaign here,
scroll down.
Farrah actually made a decision on the coloring that I didn't. It wasn't in the script. It wasn't anything. She just made an inference, and while it wasn't my decision to make it. Yeah. So this is it right here. So go back. Yeah. I know we're on the delay here.
Yeah.
It's not this page, it's the page above it.
Oh, okay. The one with the person on fire?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even if, like, the artist changes something slightly, the book is still 100% you got. It isn't...
Right, because if I don't like something that they do, then I have them change it. Or I decide it's not important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's cool. They made a decision. I don't really care one way or the other. I'm ambivalent, so...
Mm-hmm. And it could be one of those things like, wow, that's actually really good, what you came up with, like...
Kind of energy traveling across the panel here.
Yeah. I was going to say, I bet it was the wavy energy going across the thing here.
And the thing I like about it is that it kind of shows how it's emanating out from him, affecting kind of freezing the whole crowd. And also these ripples kind of look like they trigger that guy that's sparking to catch on fire, right?
Yeah.
And so there's an interaction in how it works. I really like that. She picked up on it. She took the initiative. She made a good call. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh yeah, I'm very proud of this page, and just make you assume that I had something to do with that. No, I like calling out the things so I can show people the talented team members that I've surrounded myself with.
Yeah.
And I can't see a future where Farrah's not going to be coloring any of my stuff. She has definitely earned a spot in any team I put together anytime in the near future. So,
well, it's good because hopefully this also will help her get some more work too, because we all know that colorists are needed.
I put her Twitter out there.
Yeah, I'm going to
work for Farrah, because she's gone fully freelance now. She's left her studio job behind. She was working for a coloring studio in Jakarta, and so she has walked away from that to do coloring full time. So
she's fully independent
she's
now.
Got
pretty
the
much.
Doorkickers work right now, but I think Adam Post is talking about maybe getting her to do something for him on the next College of the Dead book. So hopefully we'll see something for that soon. And
Well, I
You
think,
know,
like I said, I think I said this last time you were on. It's like, while everybody would like to have Kyle Ritter as their colorist, Kyle Ritter has a lot of things to do already. So obviously, I mean, and she does great. She's got great colors. Got a real feel for it. Like you said, if she's the one that came up with the whole wavy line, the wavy, energy waves, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, and that just shows that she's tuned in to what we're doing. She's great.
Yeah.
I love her and I love her work, and so I'll keep promoting her till the cows come home.
There you go.
Same thing with Ian, the artist. Man, he works pretty quick, and he's solid. I kind of like the way that all the artists look a little different.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
It's always good to get other takes.
Just,
that's the way I look at it.
Anyway, I know I'm dragging this out, but anybody who is in the sound of my voice that hasn't backed the book, hey, I would really appreciate your support. I guarantee you're not going to be disappointed by this book. There's, like I said, it's a good deal to be able to jump in and get it the black and white edition. I can guarantee that will be the most limited of the covers. Whatever the narwhal cover is, the black and white will be less. So
there you go. Well, like I said, we got. Everybody, you've seen the links, links in the description. Obviously, check it out if you haven't checked it out yet. You've heard, share this around, share the campaign, share this video so people can kind of get up behind the scenes what goes into these things.
To your friends in real life.
So
talk to face-to-face communications about our, the books that we support, I think are very important.
Yeah.
I've sold at least 2 or 3 copies of just by telling people in real life about them and then pulling out my phone and showing it to them and holy shit, can you text that to me? And then I share the link out and they come back and tell me, oh yeah, I went ahead and bought the $50 tier on that book you showed me. It's, that's a really cool deal. And blah, blah, blah. So
yeah, I mean, I look at I try to help people make help people make their money. Maybe I'll get a subscription out of it and grow my channel while I help other people. That's the way I look at it.
Absolutely.
We're gonna say Pipe.
And I was just going to say, and I get to learn a lot. So
yeah, exactly.
It's win all around.
Exactly. So yeah, let's go ahead and close it out for the night. Like I said, Scott, once again, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this information, especially all the concept art and stuff like that. And
that's really cool. I love concept art of stuff.
It's really awesome. And like I said, tomorrow night, check us out. We're going to have the creators of Oddity on to talk about Oddity. That looks like a really cool book coming up.
Good people.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good. I watched some streams with those guys. They're really cool. I've had good interactions with them on Twitter and stuff. So can't wait to have them on tomorrow night. And then, like I said, Thursday we have the Firestone guy. I think his name's Roman Black. I think his name is. And he'll be on Thursday night as long as everything goes well. Friday night, Mike Murphy will be back to once again promote The Gods Fear Me. Always like Mike. I always love having Mike on. He's a good fella. So,
but they've got color. Have you seen? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, we saw the color. Yeah. The colors look great on that. Yeah. So
Saturday is the last day of the campaign for Doorkickers. So
yeah. So you said Saturday is the last day. So this coming
help us get to that $10,000 stretch goal so we can get the extra 10 pages in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how about this? Hey, Ethan, I know you listen. I know you watch the show. Have Scott on Saturday so he can close this out right.
That'd be awesome, but I know he's a busy man. He's got.
Oh yeah, let's say take a break from signing your frog books and.
I'd take just a shout out or two.
Man and Lunacy.
Frog books and talk.
Real quick, Man and Lunacy says, "Will tomorrow be the day that I betray EVS? Only one way to find out." Anyway, guys, we appreciate you coming on. Everybody showing up for tonight. Everybody who watches it later, thank you for watching. Like I said, be sure to check out the link in the description below for Doorkickers. And like I said, we'll see you tomorrow night, and y'all have a good one.
Later, nerds.
Bye-bye.